But yeah, so for the first four people, okay, she's giving four people of when they send their contact info and email address, and make sure to put.
You don't know what kind of time so don't waste your time. Your time is precious. Start doing any talking just to embrace your mate for that 30 seconds, just to say, wow, I married you, I'm your mate, I'm with you, and this is what I love about you, and just be, because you have to be in harmony with yourself first. You come to a circle of sisters or relationship and you got issues. I am the mother. It's up to the mother to step up and say, excuse me, I am your mother. But we forgot our position. We're out of order. We're out of rhythm. We don't know our posture. We don't know the part we play. We know about the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. But where was the mother? Well, who is the mother of the Father and who is the mother of the Son? Is she not worthy of mentioning when she births? When she is the mother that births, really strong. And now I'm here to serve. I'm here to communicate. I'm here to connect. I'm here to go to work now. Because my first work is right, number one. You can't touch tomorrow because tomorrow's not here yet. What you're gonna do, what you fit to do, what you're trying, it's not even, but where we are right now, be here now. So when you're here now, you listen, you feel, you observe, use your intuition. Be totally in the present moment rather than, I'm here with you now. What am I gonna make for dinner? I'm not worrying about what I'm gonna make for dinner because I'm here now. Be here now.
Hey y'all, welcome back to Transformation to Expansion. I'm your host, LaJoie Bradley, and today we have a very special guest with us today. Her name is Queen Esther, and I had the privilege of talking to her just yesterday and really getting to know her, and I'm just so thankful and grateful for her to be here on the show with us today. Just a little bit about Queen Esther. She's a multifaceted healing artist, dancer, poet, and wellness ambassador, currently residing as the Dean of Queen Afua's Sacred Women Rites of Passage program, which is a powerful program. If y'all don't know about it, go Google it. It's really, really one of the most powerful programs for women, especially, that I've seen. She is dedicated to inspiring women to embrace their authentic beauty. She has a unique brand of healing encompassing of dance, GPS readings, and full moon ceremonies, healing the body, mind, spirit, and finance to birth prosperity in women's lives. Super powerful. So excited. Please welcome Queen Esther to the show. Thank
Woo.
you so much for being here. Thank you so much for gifting us with your presence and your abundance and your wisdom. How are you feeling today?
Awesome.
Yeah. It's good to hear. So, you talk about, having GPS readings. And even yesterday when we were talking, I had the privilege of learning more about the work that you do with these GPS readings. And audience, we will get to that in a second, but it's really founded on the truth of how we track the moon and the sun and how we really track our calendar days. And so one of the questions that came up for me was, were we lied to when we were given the current Gregorian calendar? Were we lied to about this calendar? Do we really only have 12 months in the year? Is that, should we still follow that calendar, especially as women too? We know that, our moon cycle is 28 days. It really, goes with the moon. But when we try to fit that in this Gregorian calendar, it's always off. And then for some of us have this false belief that, our moon cycles are inconsistent. And so it really, really messes with us in that way. But were we lied to about the Gregorian calendar? That's my first question I want to ask you today.
Well, we were thrown off, because everything in the universe is rhythm. And you get up in the morning, the sun is rising. In the evening, the sun sets. It happens every day. It's a rhythm, and we can count on the universe. The four seasons, it happens consistently. So nature has a system. Like our menstrual cycle is every 28 days, with the moon cycle, which is 28 days. So that's our natural organic rhythm. Now, what happened with the shift? It started with Julius Caesar, and as the emperor of Rome, he said he wanted to have 31 days in his month. He's born in July, Julius. So he said, I want 31 days for July. So then his son said, well, if my father could have 31 days in his month, I'm Augustus Caesar, born in August. I want 31 days in my month. So they kept juxtapositioning the calendar for all these, and we only have one accurate month left, and that's February with 28 days. It is the only accurate month. Okay, so that's what gives us the 12 months, because when you have 31, 30, 31, 30, then we have 12 months. But if we go 28, 28, 28, 28, 20, we will have 13 months, 13 moons in the year. So that is our organic calendar, the 13 moon. Okay, so that's how we got thrown off. And that's where that started in that way. And so it's just good to recognize, but we won't be able to change the calendar as it is, but we can be aware of the 13 moon calendar, tune into that, and then we will get a nice synchronicity as we begin to get in alignment with Mother Nature, which is that organic balance we need.
So, have you ever felt like you're meant for more? You're here for a reason. Something inside of you knows that there's more. There's more purpose, there's more connection, there's more fulfillment, there's more love to be enjoyed in this life. What if all of that was here right now? Your life easier to navigate, your dreams easier to manifest. You can live in a life of ease, even in these uncertain times with Pluto being in Aquarius. Your community of expansion is right here at your fingertips. From the moment you enter, you feel the sense of release and comfort. No more wondering if all those downloads you got as a kid were just random thoughts. No more wondering that time you had telepathy, thinking that it was just a fluke. Be with the people you know are here for you. Join our ever-expanding community on Patreon for free. And for those of you who ask, yes, the Wellness Library is included. I love y'all so much. Let's get back to the show. Peace. You know what's so funny, because this makes me think of when I was in Bali. A lot of the Balinese people, they have two calendars. They have the 28-day calendar that they still follow with their practices, with their religion, which is Hinduism, but also it's like Hinduism, but mixed with still the ancient practices that they had, hundreds of years ago before they were kind of invaded with this, maybe even thousands of years ago, before they were influenced by the Hindu religion. And so they have that calendar, and then they also have the Gregorian calendar that we're all so used to. But I remember when I went to Bali, I first saw a culture that actually acknowledged both calendars, and I was like, oh, okay, I didn't know like there's another calendar, but as you talk about it, it just makes so much more sense. Especially when you start to relate it to
Yes,
nature and the natural cycles of nature, the natural moon cycles, like it's it's more in flow, it's more in rhythm, right? And it can really empower us to be more in sync with the natural rhythms, which can also allow us to bring more ease into our life, right? When it comes to anything that we do.
that's it. That's it. That's the ease. Because when we're in rhythm, when we're in alignment, things flow. We're not as stressed out. We're out of this anxiety. We come out of the fear. You don't see the animals stressed out. They know they're going to get their breakfast and their dinner. They're just going with their natural flow. But when we are out of order, then it's a struggle. Then it's a stress. Then it's a worry. Then all of that, and that's not our natural flow. So when we align ourselves with nature, things move more easily. We get more synchronized. So we're able to enjoy our lives more without all the extra pressure. It's like eating GMO food as opposed to eating organic food. We want organic because it's natural. It's our root food. So our life also needs to be more organic so we can be in the flow. And really, why do we want to be in the flow? So we can spend more time enjoying our life. People are getting so stressed out about yada, 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 yada. We're missing the beauty of life. To be born is a miracle. Let's keep it real. You know what I'm saying? How do you get a life? That's a divine miracle. So if we're blessed to get a life, we should be living the life. We should know that obstacles are part of life. They help us grow. They grow us. So when we have a problem or a situation or a challenge, that's what it takes to grow us up. There's nothing wrong. We're expanding.
Yeah, we're always expanding, and when we are expanding too, I think the most in flow way to expand is to really expand in alignment, expand within your purpose. And I've talked to so many guests about this. Everybody agrees, when you are in your purpose, it's like the most this like easiest way to really get into alignment and to expand, versus if you're trying to expand out of alignment, you're going to hit some bumps. You might, stuff might happen where it's a little harder than if you were to expand in alignment with your purpose. And so one of the things that I really love about your GPS readings is that you really empower people to know what their purpose is, and not just know what their purpose is, but really recognize how they operate and how they can operate, and the best way in order to really be in their purpose. So can you talk about those GPS readings? Because I had never heard of them before you know, brought it up. And so can we talk about really what is the GPS reading for our audience real quick?
Yes, your GPS stands for your Galactic Purpose Signature. What did you sign up for? You know, we say when your mother was having contractions when you were being born, you signed a contract to do something in the universe, and it doesn't go away. It's like it's what you kind of meant to be doing. You know, astrology tells us our character, whether we're a water sign or a fire sign or earth, it explains our character. But GPS explains what is our purpose? What are we doing on the planet? How are we going to make the planet a better place doing what we do naturally? And the thing I love about it is it's built on nature, not what somebody said or what a book said. On the sun rises in the east, sets in the west. These are things that we can see for ourselves. So it's built on the four directions. It's built on the 13 moons, the 13 tones. Which tone were you born under? Because that tone kind of sets the energy for what you would be doing in your life. And it also focuses on glyphs. You know, glyphs are more specific. So when it combines your direction and your tone and your glyph, it gives you a pretty clear readout of what your purpose is. Now, one of the benefits of that is when you hear it, it just makes you feel like you validate yourself. Often we're looking for someone else to give us authority to be ourselves. We're looking for someone to approve of us being ourselves. We're looking for validation. But when you get that GPS reading, you're like, I got it. That's who I am. I'm going to stand in my purpose because it's more clarity. In life, when we are clear, we can move forward. When we're not clear, we tend to like if you're driving and it's foggy, you can't step on the pedal and just drive because you can't see what's in front of you. And once you pass that fog and it's a clear highway, now you can pick up speed. It's the same thing about our purpose, knowing what we're doing. Everybody's going to tell you should be doing this, you should be doing that. Everybody's got a plan for you. But what did the Most High have in store for you? And when you hear it, you're like, you know what? That just makes sense. I'm going to accept myself for who I am, stand in my power, stand in confidence, and really be who I was meant to be. And it's kind of like a liberation, you know, because it's very simple, but it's very deep, and it speaks to deep things about you that nobody would really know. And when you hear it, you're like, nobody even knows that about me. So it's very refreshing, you know, and and that's how we're able to move. One of the benefits when we come together to help heal the planet, that kind of lets us know here's what you're going to be doing, here's what I'm going to be doing, here's what she's going to be doing. We already have our orders cut out for us. So now we just have to get in our position to see how we can all come together to make the world a better place.
Yeah.
You know, we want, many of us, I mean, there are two type of personalities. Some people are basically concerned about themselves. You know, me and mine, my kids, my house, my boat, their life. Other people are concerned about the family, the extended family, the community, the world. Some of us care about the planet,
Mm-hmm.
but we're not the only ones. So there are a number of people around the world that want the world to be a better place. So when we connect with those people, the GPS tells us here's the position that you will be playing in order to make things better. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty nice.
I can attest to that because you know you gave me my reading yesterday, and yeah, you hit like all the marks, like especially with I think it was the tone.
Yeah.
I think I had a tone of one. Let me just make sure. Yeah, right. And so, and this is something I had been personally working on, you know, especially in the past, like I think
Tone
two
number.
years. Can you explain like what is a tone, and then what did that tone of one mean for me?
Yeah, tone. So tone is like, so when you deal with the moon, every month there's a there's 13 moons in the year. And every moon has a different energy, a different vibration. Just like Aries has a vibe, Taurus has a vibe, they all have different tones or energies. So these 13 moons, they all have different tones or energies that you come under if you come under that 28-day cycle. So you are tone number 1, which is called the magnetic tone, attracts. And tone number 1 basically says it's oneness, the universe, one love, one moment, the unity of all things, the source. Everything comes out of one. You know what I'm saying? So your personality likes to unify people. Like it's just not about you. You thrive when you work with a larger group and you're bringing people together, just the way that you're doing right now. So like you're doing your purpose. This is what you're comfortable doing, and this is what you can do happily. This is what you can do for your prosperity because you're living your purpose. And when you're doing that, it feels good, it feels natural. You're happy to do it because this is what you signed up for, to be tone number one, to help us unify. One moment, so everything comes out of the oneness. And that's what tone one represents. So when other people get their readings, they got 13 tones, and every tone is going to be a different set of information, you know. Yeah, so for example, I'm a number four, and just the way to look at, like, astrologically, I'm a Pisces. So I like my artistry, I like my blue lips, I like my fab, I like to be, in all my beauty and glory and creativity, because when your beauty and creativity is actually your freedom. So we need to exercise our beauty and our individuality because that's who we are as a person. And we don't need to be like in a cookie cutter because we're not born cookie cutters. Okay. So my Pisces is moving, adaptable, creative, and I really express that. But my GPS is a number four, which means four elements, four directions. Four is a foundation. Four sides to a room. The pyramid has a base of four. Four is our root. So even though I'm this Pisces and I move and I'm eclectic, I'm very rooted in Mother Nature. I'm very rooted in the work. So you'll see the Pisces part, but when you communicate with me, I don't take no joke. I mean, Mother Nature don't take no joke. She's clear. So I'm very rooted. That's my number four. So that explains how astrologically you might be one vibe, but when you deal with your GPS, it's going to have another whole aspect of your character. Ashe, give thanks.
And real quick, I want to touch on oneness because one thing that came up for me was this whole idea of really being in oneness is being in the present moment. When you're in the present moment, that's when you can experience oneness. And so can you just talk about real quick, because a lot of people, they read books on the present moment, they meditate, but they really struggle with, really actively being in that moment, being mindful, or practicing mindfulness to be in the present moments. How can people more actively be in the present moment and prioritize that?
Well, that's a good thing. And this is why I may use poetry, I may use visuals, because I want people to get it. So, like, if you're in your car driving and you're looking in your rear view mirror, how long can you drive looking in the rear view mirror? Stuff is coming up in front of you. People are crossing. The light is changing. But if you're preoccupied looking in the past and the rear view, you're not going to see what's coming ahead of you. Second of all, whatever happened, you can't change that. That's downtime. You can't fix yesterday. You can't alter it. You can't do anything with yesterday because it's over. You can't touch tomorrow because tomorrow's not here yet. What you're going to do, what you're fitting to do, what you're trying, it's not even, but where we are right now, be here now. So when you're here now, you listen, you feel, you observe, use your intuition. Be totally in the present moment rather than, I'm here with you now. What am I going to make for dinner? I'm not worrying about what I'm going to make for dinner because I'm here now. Be here now because the Most High is a living spirit. The spirit is not from the past or the future. It's here now. So sometimes when we're so preoccupied being someplace else about what's going to happen, half the time that doesn't even happen. And when we're someplace else, we miss the nuances, we miss the beauty, we miss the innuendos of just being in the present moment. The Most High is a living presence. Sometimes we try to be so calculated. We try to figure it out. We try to be so analytical. We try to be so intellectual. But spirit is a living energy. You can't predict the ocean. The ocean is not on a schedule. The air is moving. Nature is in flux. So when we get too analytical, we miss the beauty of just being here and receiving what spirit is giving us, because spirit is always giving us information. Spirit is always tapping us on the call your cousin. Oh, go home early. Something is always talking to us. Spirit. Half the time we don't always listen. We're not always being obedient, and we say, I knew I should have left when something told me to leave, but we don't always follow that spirit. So when that spirit tells us to do something, we need to listen, pay attention, because that's going to put us where we need to be in sync to receive those blessings. You see? But if we overthink a thing, overanalyze a thing, we miss the beauty. Like if someone tells you, I love you, we can say, you love me? How long have you been loving me? Why do you love me? Are you sure it's love? How would you? Just say, I love you
Right.
back. Thank you. Hug. How about that?
Mm-hmm.
Just get the
Mm-hmm.
love. Okay,
Oh.
stop playing. That part. Mm-hmm. So that's to be here now, because now there's a lot going on right now. And if you live your life in the now, and now is always shifting, every moment is another moment coming. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like it's stuck. This is the moment, and then the next moment is coming. And this is how we serve the Most High, because we will get instructions to move with the shift. And if we're caught up in the past, how many people tell you, back in 1997, I had this problem, and I'm 97. Hello, really? People get stuck, and sometimes it's hard to let go of old relationships, old habits, things that are bringing us down. But we get stuck there. So just to help people let go of being stuck, I ask people to take a deep breath in. Everyone, take a deep breath in. Now I will ask you to hold it. I want you to hold it. Come on, hold it. Hold it. Hold it. Hold it. Can you hold it for a half an hour? Let it go.
Yeah. Right.
You can't even hold your breath, not even for a half an hour. So if you can't even hold your breath that you need to be alive, what can you really hold on to? I mean, keeping it real. What? Your children grow up and leave. That life is changing, but you're trying to hold on to something that's an illusion. And when you're trying to hold on to something that's go, it makes you feel stressed. You're holding on to your money. Well, I had the money, but the money's gone. You hold on. No, you breathe in life, inhale, and you exhale. You inhale and you exhale. So this is why when you encounter people and situations, take it in. Talk to your sisters, talk to your mate, and be engaged. Because after a while, all it's going to be is a memory. Okay? And when you go back through your memory, you want to be like, that was so cool talking to her or talking to him. We had such a or you can be like, I forgot to ask about something. I didn't even get the number. You were not fully engaged. Your mind was someplace else. You didn't even get to absorb the fullness of the moment because your mind was in 5 different places. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's like be here now. We all hear that say, be here now. Yes.
Right. Prioritize now. That's the other thing too. You have to value the now. I think people don't, they say they want to be in the present moment, but when we are shifting our mindset, when we're forming new habits, when we're trying to transform ourselves, we really have to take like actionable steps. And one of those actionable steps that I really learned from you really is to value and prioritize the now, right? And start to help reprogram your mind by when your mind is like, oh, we need to think about this is happening tomorrow, this is going to happen next week. You have to be like, no, we're here now, let's focus on now, let's be here now. And that's you valuing the now, that's you valuing the present moment. And so I really thank you for teaching me that, and then also teaching our audience that, because for me it was like an epiphany. I was like, oh yeah, Queen Esther, she actually values the now, she values the present moment. Not everybody does that, not everybody knows to do that also. So thank
Yeah, but because if you don't, you can miss it. Like about a month ago, I was outside on my balcony, and it was a most
you.
beautiful full moon, and I was looking at the full moon. I said, "Oh, this is so beautiful." Then my intellect said, "Girl, go get your camera. You got a kid, and you got to get this moment." So I ran in the house. I mean, like 30 seconds. I ran back, put the camera up, and there was a cloud in front of the moon. I'm like, "What happened?" She said, "Baby, you missed it." You were so busy trying to get a camera, trying to get a Kodak moment that you missed the moment of the connection with me and you together, feeling that energy. But in the time, in the process of you trying to go get it and come back, the cloud covered it. You will never get that moment again. I was like, 30 seconds? Yeah, 30 seconds. You missed it. So that just lets us know you will not get that moment again. So when I don't be trying to get no camera. I'll be like, I'm right here, right now. I'm not going nowhere. I don't want to miss the beauty of now. If that kind of explains the moment.
Yeah, yeah, because that's the beautiful thing about just nature and the world that we live in is it's such. If you allow it, you can have a very intimate relationship with the moon, with the stars, with nature, with literally everything around you. It's here for you, but you have to really take the time to recognize that. And I think with social media, with our phones, with our cameras, even I get caught up in like, oh my God, like everybody needs to see this. And sometimes, okay, it's okay to share, right? But sometimes it's not for everybody to see. Sometimes it literally is just a moment for you to appreciate and to really be in and to really sink into that moment. Um, and I think, if more people could do that, I think people would have an even stronger connection with nature, with the reality that we really surround that we have access to all the time.
Yes, with nature and with your life. It's like if you are cherishing every moment, then at the end of the day you say, I've had a fabulous day. And then you had a fabulous day yesterday. And the day before that, it was a fabulous. So your life winds up being a fabulous intervention of an everyday buildup. As opposed to, I told one sister, well, I'm going to do something in April. She said, well, Queen Esther, when you say what you're going to be doing in April, you look at, you really are, it's really an arrogance because to tell you the truth, nobody even promised you. Who promised you April, as a matter of fact? Who guaranteed you, that April, I want to call this sister till I love her, but I'll do it tomorrow. Who promised you tomorrow? See, you can't be working the time factor because time is not yours. We're living by the grace every day. So what I'm really saying is every day, live your full life every day. Then in 30, 40, you'll be like, I've been having a fabulous life every day. This makes up my life. You know what I'm saying? When you look back, oh, I said, I was speaking to LaJoie. We had a fabulous time. Every time I think about it, we spoke about that. And that becomes your life. Fabulous connection, interaction with everyday reality. Every day is different. So don't be wearing the same outfit every day. Boring, okay? How can you have an excited existence if you look boring? Even if you're boring to yourself, you know what I'm saying? So you gotta set the tone. What kind of? I'm gonna have a blue day. Okay, I'm gonna have a red day because it's Tuesday. It's Mars. I'm setting the tone for what type of. I'm gonna put my whites on the day. You eating pizza? Don't get close to me. Move back with the jelly. This is my. I'm setting the tone for what I want for my life. So when I put on my wardrobe, because it's a war out there, put on your wardrobe. You're ready to deal with whatever. Make sure that you feel good before you step out of your house. Adorn yourself. Put on your smells, your incense, your perfumes.
Mhm.
Be ready. So when I come out, I'm like, I've taken care of myself. I feel great. I've got my different scents on, my rings. I've got my jewelry. Now that I'm all dolled up, I feel fabulous. Now, what can I do for the world? What does the world need from me? Because I've taken care of me really strong. And now I'm here to serve. I'm here to communicate. I'm here to connect. I'm here to go to work now. Because my first work is right, number one. Okay? Take care of number one. I'm loving on number one. And that's how I know how to love you because I love myself like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah.
To it. And yeah, everything starts with you. And that's the other thing that people I think are really lost about is that, they don't, especially mothers. I don't know what it is. I don't know what the societal conditioning is, right? But it's like I think, and I would say even in Western society, right? Because I've learned in other countries it's completely different. They get it. But we've been conditioned in Western society to really, mothers are the ones who have to sacrifice themselves to really give and support, their family. And we've seen this time and time again that is not the most optimal way to support a healthy family. The mother needs to take care of herself first, and then she could be the best mother that she can be. And then she can give back to her children, her partner, her community. But we've been brainwashed to think that we need to do the exact opposite. And again, I think people really know deep down it doesn't work, right? You need to really recognize that it doesn't work. You need to really prioritize you first. And when I say prioritize you, it's not oh, okay, I'm gonna eat like this bag of chips, that's gonna make me happy. It's like, no, really value, right? You have to value yourself. That's what you need to do. You need to value yourself. That's what I mean by prioritize you. You have to value yourself, prioritize yourself. Um, make yourself nourished. Make yourself feel, abundant, feel nourished first. And then from that space, then you could actually give and extend that nourishment to everybody else in your community with ease, right? But we got to do that first. We got to do that work first.
Without being guilty about it. And it's critical because, when there's a male rule, things are out of order, things are out of balance. When you say woman, man is included. Woman. We birth men. They're part of us. So we're not trying to be separate. We are the mothers. When you say woman, man is included. When you say female,
Right.
the male is included with the fee. So we encompass the male in the fee. Okay. When we say she, he is also included. You understand? But when you say male, well, what happened to the fee? When you say man, well, what happened to the womb? When you say he, well, what happened to the she? So we got kind of snuffed out the whole picture. You know what I'm saying? But in the reality, we birthed the whole picture. So the one that births life, how can you put the mother who birthed out of the picture? You know, I mean, we know about the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. Well, where was the mother? Well, who is the mother of the Father and who is the mother of the Son? Is she not worthy of mentioning when she births? When she is the mother that births, mother is the center of the household. She's the one that feeds the family, gets the places, things clean, things laid out. She has to be organized. She is the center of the family. So when she's together, her family will be together. Now, if mother's giving the family cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, or you're giving every time they cry, you're giving them a candy cane, you will have to know the healing and the wellness because you set the tone for your family. So this is why we, with Queen Afua, Sacred Women, we focus a lot on the women because when the woman gets it together, she will get her house together. And it's so critical right now. If you look at the planet, Mother Nature is telling the planet, y'all better get it together because, Mother has a tolerant level. When she gets it up to here, nobody wants to see when Mother gets, because then she stops talking. Then if you don't appreciate, if you don't respect, if you're poisoning the water, you're poisoning the earth,
Mhm.
she gets fed up. So mother is commissioning the women. Listen, my daughters, y'all better get it together and get this planet in order because you
Right.
don't want me to step up. Okay? So first get yourself together. Okay? Then get your family, get your men, get your children together, and let's bring some balance, some harmony, some peace to the planet. Because if mother's not in position, it'll all
Mhm.
be out of
Mhm.
order. You see? So this is why we press for the women to come into place because when the mother is in order, we take care of every. Look, women don't try to go around shooting and killing people. It's not our forte. We are here to nurture and bring life.
Mhm.
You understand? We're built for life, to bring life. So death and destruction, that's not what we're working with here. So if the death and destruction is happening everywhere, running rampant, we cannot afford to sit back and say, "Oh, it's so sad. It's terrible."
Mhm.
I am the mother. It's up to the mother to step up and say, "Excuse me, I am your mother." But we forgot our position. We're out of order. We're out of rhythm. We don't know our posture. We don't know the part we play. So everything is running rampant. This is why we pull so hard right now for the women to come together, to get in alignment, to get in order, to be supported, to love themselves so we can help heal this planet. But starting with ourselves.
It all starts with us. Yeah, it has to. No, it starts with us, and we are like naturally, connected with the land, with the earth, because we have. I mean, we have to. We have no choice. People. When it comes to like our moon, I call it our moon cycle, but menstrual cycle, moon cycle, this is like we're automatically connected. Like there's no choice. There's literally no choice. Every month we are like, we're in tune with our bodies, and our bodies are gonna tell us, hey, you didn't eat right this month, so we having, the worst cramps, or hey, you did great. No more cramps for this, or only have cramps for one day. But but the beauty of being a woman is every 28 days we get the opportunity to get back in touch with nature, to get back in touch with our bodies. And our bodies, and this is the thing that I've learned, I've studied environmentalism and all of that, but what I learned through all of that was, it wasn't really about even going into nature. The first connection that we have to the earth, to nature, is our bodies. Once you can get people to really value their bodies, value the temple that they live in, then they're gonna automatically have that connection to earth. I learned that it wasn't about getting people out into nature. It was about getting people to value their bodies. This is the first connection to nature that we have, is our bodies, to earth that we have, right? When we're like, little beings in the womb of our
Absolutely.
mothers, that's all we know is, well, I don't even know if we know about our bodies, right? Because we're just kind of floating there. But when we come out, when we're about to be birthed, we start to feel our bodies. That's the first connection. So we really need to start valuing that, right? valuing the temple that we live in.